Hello and welcome, Grand Rapids. Thank you for joining this evening. I'm your anchor, Josie Sabo.
And I'm your other anchor, Sean Francis. And because we have May the 4th be with you, may the Cinco be Mayo, and may Tucker Carlson never get a job again. We have the local, national, and world stories that you may have missed.
You're welcome, Grand Rapids. This is NewsFlash.
Our top story tonight, the Supreme Court is planning to hear a case that could significantly scale back the power of federal agencies. For example, I'm just spitballing here. What if, say you're a Supreme Court judge, right? And a president appointed you and then was indicted afterwards. Maybe you have to take like a break and then reapply for your job after the next administration. Just throwing that out there. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. That'd make too much sense. Actually, this case revolves around herring fishermen who are claiming that the National Marine Fisheries Service does not have the authority to require them to pay the salaries of government monitors who ride along with them on the fishing vessels. I don't know, though. I really like that Supreme Court idea. This whole thing sounds like a red herring to me.
In other fish news...
There's more than one?
Yeah. A Warren man was charged with assault after hitting a grocery clerk with a frozen fish. Ooh, that's cold.
It's weird. I think most of the time people prefer their fish to be battered. Or at least salted.
I guess that's one fish that didn't get away with it.
I heard the other guy's bruise was this big.
Remember, Sean...
Thanks for that.
There's always plenty of fish puns in the sea.
Oh, God. Oh, God. It's official. You're a real pain in the bass. Yes. On this week's Musk Minute, as we mentioned last week, SpaceX's Starship has been grounded by the FAA after test flights have exploded every single time they tested it. But SpaceX doesn't like to use the word exploded. In their own words, they describe the event as a rapid, unscheduled disassembly. That's real. That's what they called it. I don't know. After hearing this, I like it. I plan to use this wording to describe all the fuck-ups in my future. I didn't burn dinner. My culinary attempt produced an unscheduled pyrotechnic display.
Yeah, I didn't forget. I unexpectedly disassociated with the information.
Right. My house isn't a mess. It's currently undergoing a spontaneous and aggressive rearranging with no predefined target date.
I wasn't dumped. I was relieved of my romantic duties.
Yeah, I didn't get lost. I set off on an unforeseen exploration of a previously unknown geographic location, which resulted in a temporary delay in the appearance of my person. There we go. Fuck Elon Musk.
A Lansing police officer was charged with retail fraud for price switching, a common scam where you ring up a lower-priced item but take something more valuable and scamming Meyer out of over $10,000. Yikes, $10,000. Yeah, that's a lot of donuts to ring up as bananas.
Yeah. 2 New Yorkers tried to leave Brazil with 77 pounds of gold in their luggage. Turns out that was illegal. Who would have thought? They claim that they had no idea. They thought they'd just gained a lot of weight all of a sudden. Well, can we talk about these bags, though? That's what they... you think with that many bars of gold, they'd have a little bit nicer luggage, right? I don't know. Talk about fool's gold to me.
Ironically, the cutoff for smuggling gold is 76 pounds.
Ooh, just missed it. That's not true. Actually, they thought they were gold-wrapped chocolate. Illegal imported chocolate.
They were just holding it for a friend.
Yeah. I'm just spitballing here. Did they try to ring up the gold as bananas? See if that
worked. Security was tipped off when they registered their bags under the name Midas.
Yeah, did give away. Keeps me searching for a 77 bag of gold. That's just for me. That's okay.
Looks like those TSA agents are a couple of golden snitches.
Ooh. Another passenger, only identified by the last name T, said, "I don't know, seems like a normal amount of gold to me."
They thought they had found their own personal Fort Knox, but now they're just headed to Hard Knocks.
Yeah. In reality, they apparently were trying to get this gold for their 7-year-old's backyard Minecraft birthday party. Tough break, Timmy, tough break.
A woman who has spent the last 500 days self-isolating in a Spanish cave as a social experiment finally emerged this week. After spending roughly 24 hours back on the surface, the first man she encountered told her she should smile more, and she quickly returned to the cave.
Makes sense. A 100-year-old neurologist from Cleveland is the oldest doctor still practicing, according to Guinness. First off, I don't know if you should call it practicing at that point anymore. Also, I mean, I get some people might be wary of seeing a physician that has literally been doing his job since before chemotherapy was invented. But hey, you know, if he's made it this far in life, I could probably take a few health pointers. Especially if people who live in Cleveland. Shots fired.
Disney guests were accidentally abandoned for over an hour after the park closed on their classic ride, It's a Small World. Before being retrieved, you have all the rides. Realizing there's an opportunity here, Disney started researching converting some specific classic rides into after-hours escape rooms. For example, the Jungle Cruise, but the tour gives you clues along with corny jokes.
Nice. The Haunted Mansion, that'd be to die for, in my opinion.
The Teacups ride has potential, but only for internal organ damage.
Yeah. Captain EO. Nah, never mind. Obvious reasons. We're gonna cancel that.
I mean, Tower of Terror, it's basically there already.
Yeah, that's true. So is Splash Mountain, if you're not white. Whoa! They're changing it themselves. I don't know what you think that's the problem is. A gold miner, wow, a lot of gold stories today, found a mysterious shaped grapefruit-sized fur ball. Turned out it was actually a perfectly preserved 30,000-year-old squirrel. Yeah, he found it out after he tried to take a bite out of it anyway, thinking it was a grapefruit. I love grapefruit, he said. Meanwhile, those two guys from New York were like, squirrels, that's what we should have thought of. Man.
A Florida school has banned a movie which is about Ruby Bridges, the first black child who was integrated into a segregated school in New Orleans in 1960. Ironically, some teachers have been able to smuggle the movie into the classroom by placing it in a La La Land DVD case.
A scientist from the University of Texas in Austin has warned that the James Webb Space Telescope keeps finding galaxies that technically shouldn't exist, in his own words, clarifying that based on the apparent age of these galaxies, they are larger and more mature than they should be. Hold on there, creep. Stop perving over these underage galaxies. The scientist went on to say that they need to conduct more stress tests to determine the true age of these galactic systems, or if supermassive black holes, or maybe the telescope itself is making it appear older. I don't know, sounds like the real investigator for this needs to be Chris Hansen. I'm just saying.
In unshocking news, a focus group discovered that men lie. But specifically for this study, how people play the popular life simulation game The Sims, and how male players were lying about sewing chaos, having group orgies, and drowning their Sims in the swimming pool, when really all they did was spend all their time decorating the house. As a result, Home Goods has decided to rebrand as Home Evils and will start selling lamps and potpourri under the guise of crime and murder.
Ooh. It's delivery and DiGiorno, question mark? A South Carolina restaurant chef and owner was spotted coming to and from the restaurant to an apartment nearby and then going on a delivery. A reporter then found 4 boxes of Costco's Kirkland Signature Cheese Pizza in the trash cans near this apartment, leading to accusations that the restaurant was reselling Costco frozen pizzas and claiming them to be homemade. To really drive the point home, they are also requiring patrons to sign up for their membership before entering.
A few other suspicious clues that something was up. The restaurant's appetizer menu just said samples.
Dine-in customers, they get a benefit of a premium selection of Kirkland wine and spirits.
The waiter comes out to add cheese with one of these bad boys.
Ooh. I'm just saying, what kind of pizza restaurant is also selling hot dogs and rotisserie chickens? All right, I'm just.
Sony PlayStation has released recent consumer data that shows charging $70 per video game is resulting in fewer sales. Who could have thought? Hearing the buyer's feedback, Sony will start charging $95 per video games to see if that works any better.
Couldn't hurt. IKEA has also announced that 8 new locations will be coming to the USA. The only catch is we have to assemble them ourselves with those tiny little Allen wrenches called farms. All right.
On that note, we'd also like to thank our writers for NewsFlash this week. And if you'd like to see your name up here, you can submit your jokes to comedyoutletmondays@gmail.com with the subject NewsFlash tips.
That's right. Ooh, look at this fancy new logo. You can also follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, I guess. I don't know why still. To rewatch videos from past shows, notified of lineups for future shows, get our submission forms so you could put your act on our stage, learn about other ways that you can get involved. And if you can't wait around for that, hop up on stage at the end of the show during our free open improv jam. But now, Grand Rapids, you're welcome. Newsflash, this is Comedy Outlet Monday!